there's only one way we can go with this, and that's downhill. With Pieces of Her on Netflix. So, Pieces of Her, Netflix. I've seen, I said I've seen this, but seeing as I can't say two sentences without coughing, Holly, tell us, Pieces of Her, what's that all about?
Um, it begins in I'm going to say, relatively small town in the States. No idea
Yes.
where.
Yeah, in
Uh,
the States. Definitely not shot in Australia whatsoever. This
no,
is definitely the States.
absolutely
Yeah,
not shot in Australia and not with
whatsoever.
almost entirely Australian cast.
No, no, they're not Australian. No, no, they're all American. It's all American. I remember
Not a
that.
thing. And there is a young woman who is some sort of police officer, except not actually a police officer, insofar as I thought it was slightly bizarre.
It's kind of like a police support officer.
Yeah.
So it
Uh,
has a uniform, but goes and makes phone and fields phone calls for the police, but doesn't have a gun and doesn't have any authority that police would have.
and she is living at home. She's moved back home with her mother, played by Toni Collette,
Hmm.
and their relationship is clearly a bit tense. It becomes, yeah, apparent that she had moved back specifically. She'd moved specifically back, not it hadn't been a sort of you know random thing. And they go out for lunch, a meal, and somebody with a gun spots the daughter, um, and he's trying to steal things or
Yeah,
something.
it's like essentially they go for a lunch somewhere. There's somebody there with a gun who's a bit of a shooter, who who is not targeting them but targeting somebody else in the cafe, but then spots the daughter in a police outfit, and after shooting these other people, he's kind of like essentially it looks like he's trying to commit suicide by cop, where he's essentially telling the cop to get up and everything, and she doesn't get up. She doesn't get up because she isn't a cop. She just happens to have a uniform that looks a bit like a cop, and so wait, then oh yeah, then you want to go ahead.
So the Tony Collette is worried for her, dreadfully worried for her daughter. Um, uh, Stands up with the guy has a knife, doesn't he?
He has a knife, yes.
So she stands up to confront him, and in doing so, I'm fairly sure this is okay to say, the knife goes right through her hand in a very unpleasant fashion
Yep.
while she stops the guy.
Yeah.
And this is therefore all over the place. People have obviously got their cameras out and their camera phones out and they're filming.
Becomes a media sensation.
So suddenly they've got the press on the doorstep or the front yard, and it's all clearly very very fraught. The There are a number of sort of men around. One is the Tony Collette's ex-husband, whom she's clearly got a good relationship with, who is her daughter's stepfather, and they're clearly very close. And another long-standing male friend, and it just progressively becomes apparent that there is more to Toni Collette's life than her daughter had any idea about, and she
Yep.
goes off to try to find pieces of her mother. It's based upon a book by Karin Slaughter, whom I am generally very fond of. She does a good bloody murder mystery. Um, this is slightly away from her tried and tested mechanism, but I really liked it. What were your thoughts, Tosin?
Well, it's well, to begin with, I just found it really, really, really disconcerting that this was obviously shot in Australia, but they kept
Yeah,
trying to tell you it was America. I was looking at it going, that doesn't look like America. That looks like Australia. Stop trying to tell me it's America. And it probably took me about 4 episodes to get over that and go, because Bella Heathcote, who plays the daughter, I kept thing is without even I looked at her and I went, there's something up with her accent. She sounds like she's probably an Australian doing an American accent. I looked it up. Oh my god, she is Australian. And so that kept taking me out of it. That kept taking me out of it. And the so as the central mystery unfolds and you start finding out more and more about this whole pieces of her thing and what it is that her mother actually came and why it is that being on the news in such a big way is such a problem and why it means that all these weird things keep happening in their lives. There were bits of it that I liked, and there were bits of this central mystery that I found wanting. I found. Sorry, we might have a little bit longer because the two of us are talking about this, but I found a little bit wanting because I was kind of like, okay, was that the? But come on, there had to be more to it than that. Is that how you're gonna? But why would you do that? And why are you so stupid? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I think it's done deliberately. But the daughter character is one that had me nigh on hurling things at my TV screen. That had me, I'm like, oh, why are you doing that? Why, oh, how do you think that's a good idea? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, fine. I guess now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I guess fine. All of a sudden you think you're an action detective, and but the funny thing is that she thinks she is, but even the show is like, no, she's not an action detective. She's an idiot. and it has a good cast. It has a sort of flashback structure where you go back into the past to figure out why Toni Collette is the way she is and what's actually happened to it. And at the end of the day, I'm just not sure that there was enough substance to it to justify this whole endeavor, quite frankly. I think, and I feel like the thing that they set up, the thing they set up at the beginning, in the when they're having lunch and then the guy comes in with a gun and Toni Collette stops him. The thing they set up there, you're like, ooh, what's going on? And then when you actually get the denouement, so to say, of the explanation of all that kind of stuff, I'm kind of like, that's a bit meh.
It doesn't totally hang together. I also found it was slow getting going. If I hadn't persevered through the first two episodes, I think I had to push myself through, and I did like it.
Yeah.
I did like that. I'm really glad I saw the resolution, and it is one that I might watch again on in the background, just because I'd like to try to figure out what I missed.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, the thing is,
maybe the book.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that it takes a while. It takes a while to get going. It's a bit slow to get into places, to bringing things up, and as I said, and it's just a personal thing. It was just the first 4 episodes. I was like, it's obviously Australia. Stop trying to tell me you're in Alabama. You're in Adelaide.
I am literally about to buy both the book and the audiobook of it. So, as it's $2.99 for the Kindle and £1 for the audiobook, so I can alternate between listening and
cool.
Those being 2 words. So I will report back on comparison next week.
I thought it was a competent thing. It's just at the end of it, I liked it, but I wasn't grabbed. I liked it, but there was a little bit of feeling of, you might have wasted 8 hours of my life, because where you ended up doesn't feel worth it.
I may be doing the same with the book and the audiobook now, but again, I will report back.
I'll figure that there will be more in the book, as there always is. So how many stars would you give Pieces of Her?
I think probably 3.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd have to give it a 3. It's good. It's competent. It has good performances. There is a lady in it called Jessica Barden, who was in The End of the Effing World, who I'm really happy to see in other things. And so it has what's his face from Joe Dempsey, who was originally in Skins and was in Game of Thrones. He's in it as well. So it has people that I like. So it has people that I like, and I want to see good things happen for their career in it. So for that, it makes me want to like it. But it does have some problems. I think it's fair to say